Hi, my name is Stephen Benton. I'd like to take this opportunity in this video to introduce myself and also to introduce some very interesting ideas about space arrangement in terms of Chinese Compass Feng Shui, which is a very ancient system, as well as the Indian system called Vastu Shastra, which is even more ancient than Feng Shui. So Vastu means home and Shastra means science. So Vastu Shastra can be translated to mean the science of home building or the science of creating a home that's very conducive to your well-being. So what I like to do when I do consultations for clients is blend both Chinese Compass Feng Shui as well as Vastu Shastra, because each school has a very unique strength. Feng Shui really got the elemental positions, in my estimation, very correct, based on different locations, north, south, east, west, and the non-cardinal directions, northeast, southwest, southeast, and northwest. And then also Vastu Shastra developed extensively the idea of door positioning. So where you place your door and on what particular wall, north, south, east, or west, is going to produce very specific effects. Those effects will be either beneficial or detrimental, depending on where you put your door. And there's been little understanding of this for many people in the Western cultures. But this is a fascinating science, and I think shedding more light into this can help you with your own improvement in your own space, your own energy improvement, by tapping your best directions from Chinese Compass Feng Shui, by organizing elements such as earth, water, fire, air, and ether into various locations. And of course, in the Chinese method, we're thinking of wood and metal as well. And then with Vastu Shastra, we're thinking about positioning of doors and which walls we're going to position those doors on to create the most favorable energy. Energy for what? Energy for health, prosperity, loving relationships, mental and emotional peace, prosperity, life vision, helpful people. These all relate back, of course, to Compass Feng Shui, or Feng Shui in general, the life themes. So when I do a consultation, I generally ask people to formulate at least 3 major goals that they want, or intentions, if they have an intention for greater health or creativity or improved life, love relationship energy, or prosperity, or better opportunities in terms of communication, career, creativity, life vision, enhancement of inner peace, and so forth and so on. So based on their answers to those, then I look in those particular areas of the home or the structure, the office, the business, whatever the structure is that they're dealing with, and then identify the areas that relate to those qualities and see what's going on for those particular physical areas of the space. For example, we're just going to take a home into consideration for this example. So if a person wanted to have strengthening of, let's say, inner peace, then we'd be looking for the area that is in the Compass School Feng Shui, the northeast quadrant, for inner peace, self-knowledge, wisdom. If we're looking for life vision, fame and respect, self-esteem, would be looking in the south area, that quadrant, see what's going on in that area. Are these quadrants represented with structure? Are there areas that are indented or missing in terms of structure? Are there elements there that are contrary to the element that would strengthen the particular life theme, and so forth? And then again, how can we strengthen those particular life themes through elements, through organization of the flow of the energy, if there's a block there. Let's say there's a big piece of furniture there that you can't really maneuver around, these types of things. It all adds up to energy. Everything's energy. Everything that appears solid is just a mass of electrons vibrating at different rates, including our bodies, physical furniture, cars, trains, planes, and so forth. And so in the Vastu system, I would be looking in similar areas. Vastu has slightly different interpretations for where the life themes reside, but some are very similar to Chinese Compass Feng Shui. For example, in desiring to improve loving relationship, the Chinese school system of Feng Shui says that the southwest represents loving relationship. And of course, in agreement with that, the Vastu Shastra Indian system chimes in and says, yes, southwest relates to loving relationships and emotional and psychological stability, and stability in general in terms of feeling stable in your life. So oftentimes when a particular life theme is not strong, you'll see a direct correlation with the structure. It could be that the structure, the actual architecture of the building or the home is absent. It's called missing, or you could think of it, there's a space that's indented, that the structure is just not filling out fully where it should be. So these are some of the ideas that I wanted to share with you. And as we proceed further, I'd like to go on site to some different homes and showcase some examples of door positions and how those door positions will have strong impact upon the occupants of those structures. Two particular areas that I'd like to take you to are in the Petoskey, Michigan area, located very close to where I live. I do know some particular, there's a particular story that I'd like to share with you. It's actually quite a sad story, a tragedy, and it does relate to the Indian system of Vastu Shastra very, very profoundly. And I'd like to use that to illustrate this concept that where the door is sited in a home can have a very, very powerful effect upon your life experience. And so this is an introduction to that, and in the next segment I will be on site showing you these door positions of two different locations, a restaurant bar that is now closed, and a residence that's not far from there that is, they're both sited in such a way that they have a door, a main entrance on the center of the south wall, and I'll go into depth description of how that particular door position impacts a person's life. So thanks for listening. Please stay tuned, and I'll give you more information about this fascinating science of Vastu Shastra and Feng Shui, blending the two for the best results. Thank you. This building and another building are part of a complete story. And this building had been a restaurant in Petoskey, Michigan, as well as a bar. It's been closed for a couple years now. This is 2022. Looking at the structure, you can see that the entrance doors are right in the very center of the building. And I've taken compass readings facing the direction that the doors point toward, and the compass direction is due south, about 179 degrees due south. So doors are in the center, double doors in the very center of the building, and the doors are facing south. So this entrance, according to Vastu Shastra, the Indian system of home building from India, is particularly detrimental and unfortunate. It leads to all sorts of problems because in their system The belief is that the south has the least favorable spiritual energies that enter into a space and have influence upon the occupants, particularly in the central door position on the south wall. This is very unfavorable, very unfortunate, as this door is said to be the door for the god of death, known as Yama. You put a door in this particular position and you give access to Yama and his helpers to try to create problems for you, possibly even death or disease, financial loss, marital problems, relationship problems, legal problems, accidents, any type of problem you can think of. This type of a door position will be instrumental in assisting that. So, I'm going to walk a little bit closer and get in the frame and give you some more information about this. Again, this is Stephen Benton, Vastu Shastra Consulting Service. I'm here in front of this now closed JR's Bar and Restaurant in Petoskey, Michigan. As I described earlier in the beginning of this video, the central doors, these double doors, are located in the center of the south wall. And the south wall, according to Vastu Shastra, relates to negative entities or energies that do not bring blessings and good things into your life. The south is always frowned upon in India in terms of having that as an entrance door or a door out of your space into the outdoor world, because there's only one position on the south wall that's considered favorable. And in my estimation, it's even more ideal to not have a door in the south at all, because the south as well in Feng Shui tends to create a lot of sharp or pointed interactions, can create a lot of contention, argumentative energy, bickering, quarrels. It's just not a smooth flowing, harmonious energy. And so this particular entrance is just not a favorable entrance. And I'd like to describe that more because I have a real life story I'd like to share with you. It's actually quite a tragedy, and out of respect for the people that went through that, I'm not going to mention any names, but the second portion of this video, I'll also show a different location. It's a home. The story goes as follows. Two gentlemen were sharing a house in Petoskey, just a half a block from here. They came here and had some drinks and then left and went back to their home. And as well, that house has a central door in the very center of the south wall, which is the entrance for Yama, the god of death in the Indian Vastu Shastra system. And so they had the energy at the bar with the central door in the south, bringing that type of negative energy to them as they drank in the evening. And then when they went home, again, that energy was reintroduced into their energy field, into their minds, into their being. And quite unfortunately, one of the roommates, the two roommates got into an argument, a terrible argument, and one of the roommates picked up a baseball bat and beat the other roommate to death. So as I look at structures and I listen to different stories, I've learned that there's nothing you want to mess around with the doors in the south. Now I am very particularly speaking about structures in the northern hemisphere. This does not relate to structures in the southern hemisphere. So if you live in the southern hemisphere and you're watching this video, please don't take it personally. This does not apply to structures in the southern hemisphere. I'll be doing a separate video for structures in the southern hemisphere and describing those life themes and where they reside and where the favorable doors are. Things get reversed in the southern hemisphere. But anyway, so this is a description of southern doors on the southern wall for structures in the northern hemisphere, north of the equator. So this particular experience was tragic, and when I heard about it, I hadn't put all the pieces together, but as I learned more about Vastu Shastra and applied different concepts in my own life and my building, my home, my dwelling, taking doors off that I felt were negative and then putting new doors in positive positions, I began to run this story through my mind, and I began to realize that the doors were very influential in this particular experience for these young men. And in the next segment, like I say, I'll describe, I'll showcase the other structure, which is just a half a block away. And you can see again that this door and that home is in the very center of the south wall as well. Again, in Vastu Shastra, the center of the south wall for northern hemisphere structures relates to the god Yama, the god of death, Y-A-M-A. You can Google Yama, but he is there to create all sorts of problems. And the sages and seers from India, the yogis and saints, through their meditation, their deep introspection, their ability to go into altered states of consciousness, we're able to discover these profound principles that are still valid today. And thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, you'd like to talk about your structure, about improving the energy in your structure, possibly doing an addition, changing things, doors, positions, sleeping positions, and so forth. I've been doing consulting for over 20 years in Feng Shui, and also incorporating Vastu Shastra together with Chinese Compass Feng Shui to achieve the best of both worlds. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the second half of this video where I'll show the other house that's connected to this first location. Thank you. This is the home that the two gentlemen lived in before they had this terrible, tragic experience. They'd gone from this location to the bar that I showed previously on the video, and after returning from the bar to this home, this is where the one roommate had picked up a bat and beat the other roommate to death. As you can see, well, you probably can't see, but I'll describe this for you. This is the southern wall. Taken compass readings already. This is indeed the southern wall, and the door, as you can see, is exactly in the center. You look at the top of the roof, the peak of the roof, and line the door up with the very center of the peak of the roof, you can tell that that's exactly center. So this door in the Indian system of Vastu Shastra allows an entrance for Yama, the god of death, to come in and create all sorts of problems, potentially even kill someone. So this again only pertains to northern hemisphere structures that exist north of the equator. This is not for southern hemisphere structures. And again, the idea is that the the doorway in Vastu Shastra and where you position that doorway on the north, the east, the south, or the west walls will bring either blessings and good things or challenges and negative experiences. And so, quite unfortunately, the two gentlemen had lived here and they had an abundance of this yama energy from the front door in the center of the south wall, and then going to the bar after this, again getting more of that yama energy in the center of the south, and then coming back here and having that tragic experience. So this is something that you're going to want to pay attention to, where your doors are. If you find that you have a door on the southern wall, it's something that you should look at and get in touch with me, and I can help you to understand what type of energy you're going to be dealing with and what type of potential experiences based on the position of the door in the south wall. So, thanks for listening. Again, this is Stephen Benton, Vastu Shui Consulting Service. If you have any questions about your own structure, if you'd like to discuss what you might be doing in terms of building new structure, creating an addition, or transforming your existing structure, please get in touch. My contact information is in this video, and I'm available internationally to consultations all across the world, above and below the equator. I can do consultations in person, and I can also do consultations via the help of pictures and basic drawings over the telephone and over Skype or Zoom. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.